In the darkest forests of Pennsylvania, there's a creature that's so pathetic, it's drenched in its own tears. Cryptozoologists once saw it and said, "Yeah, we don't need to classify that." Today we're talking about the original emo kid, the squonk. Welcome to my series called American Cryptids. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melody. This channel is called Melody Ever After, where we talk about all things freaky, geeky, and spooky, and today I'm talking about my favorite cryptid of all time, the squonk. What is the squonk? The squonk is a legendary creature from the forest of Pennsylvania during the lumberjack era. It's described as a wrinkly, warty, pig-like creature covered in blemishes with ill-fitting skin, and he's constantly crying. You'll know the squonk is around when you hear sobbing. That could also be me on a random Tuesday. And the squonk is so ugly that it is so ashamed of its appearance that it constantly cries. This is a consistent character trait for this creature. So basically, if Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh were some kind of haunted pig that listened to My Chemical Romance, that's what we're working with. The squonk is so depressed that when confronted or startles, it literally dissolves into a puddle of tears. It cries itself to death, which is hilarious. As an ex-thespian, peak drama. I respect that, okay? Where did the idea of this creature even come from? The squonk wasn't an ancient native legend or a tale passed down for centuries. It actually comes from a very specific author, which I have covered before on this channel, named William T. Cox. Hey, no pee-pee jokes. I'm watching you. William T. Cox was a real-life forester and conservationist. He published Fearsome Critters of the Lumberwoods back in 1910, which was a cryptozoology anthology book where each cryptid has a little 1 to 2 page feature. This is also the lore of the Hide Behind as well. He created a bunch of tall-tale cryptids based on North American lumberjack folklore. He's basically the Stan Lee of goofy forest monsters. The book was full of all sorts of bizarre creatures that, back in the Paul Bunyan era, as I like to call it, lumberjacks used to entertain each other while they were, fueling the Industrial Revolution. The squonk was one of them, and it somehow became the breakout star of pathetic "oops, I cried myself to death" representation. Cox described the squonk in his book as covered in warts, moles, and blemishes, ill-fitting skin, best found at dusk, crying at itself, so self-conscious that it avoids all reflections in moonlight, and when captured, it instantly liquefies. Now, of course, there are no real sightings of the squonk predating Cox's book, because the squonk is a textbook lumberjack tall tale. It was invented by lumberjacks for lumberjacks, which I think we need more media for lumberjacks, okay? They're a very ostracized group. But after 1910, people began claiming sightings all over northern and western Pennsylvania, specifically around the Mont Alto forest and the Cook Forest. However, because this creature couldn't inherently be caught, most of these sightings were just weird crying noises, wet trails, and puddles. People were finding unexplained pools of water and assuming it was the squonk as if it was some kind of water-type Pokemon. One famous story in Cox's book tells of a hunter named J.P. Wentling, who allegedly captured the squonk by following it sobbing through the trees. He scooped the poor creature into a bag, but the moment he glanced inside once he got back to the town, the squonk was dissolved into a pile of bubbles and tears, and it seeped out between the stitches of the bag. The squonk is not a very well-known creature. In fact, the only place you'll ever hear of it is on fringe corners of internet memes where he's the sign of self-depreciation and a symbol of low self-esteem. Mothman is mysterious and feared. Bigfoot is revered all over the country. And the squonk, people just want to give him a hug. They just want to say, it's okay. You can be ugly. There's nothing wrong with being ugly.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. Louder. I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Also, he's public domain. Anybody can write anything about the squonk, because he's so old. So the next time you're walking in the woods and you hear soft, bubbly weeping, perhaps it's not a ghost, perhaps it's not a demon, perhaps it's just the squonk, crying because it's afraid that you saw it. But actually, if we're being serious, if you hear crying in the woods, don't follow it. That's freaking creepy. I shouldn't have to say these things out loud. If you like this video, my name is Melody, and on this channel we talk about all things freaky, geeky, and spooky. If you like unsolved mysteries, cryptids, horror stories, horror movies, and video games, check out my channel. I think you'll really like it. Until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching!